afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Saliva, working assistant professor, College of Agriculture University. So today we are going to start very interesting, informative, and productive webinar on the best practices to produce mushroom as a future food. So Roman perceived mushroom as a food for the god for the centuries. Nowadays, mushrooms are the popular valuable foods because they are low in calories, carbohydrate, fat, and sodium. Also, they are cholesterol free. There are besides mushroom provide important nutrients including selenium, potassium, riboflavin, then niacin, vitamin D, proteins, and fibers. All together with a long history as a food source, mushrooms are important for their healing capacities and properties in the traditional medicine. So it has been reported beneficial effects for the health and treatment of some diseases. So today's webinar chairman of our respected Dean and Principal, sir, Dr. Chandrakant Sharma, sir. And we have today's speaker, Dr. Pooja Dubey, ma'am. She is the founder and director of Biotech Era, Transforming India. She has more than 10 years of the research as well as teaching experience with expertise in plant tissue culture and Cell Culture Institute of High Security and Animal Disease, which she was awarded as a Young Scientist Award by Madhya Pradesh Council of Science and Technology, Bhopal, for her PhD work. And she has received many national and international awards in the conference and research paper publications. She has also worked at National Institute of Virology, Pune, as a young scientist trainee on various virus techniques, and also work as the Advanced Center for the Treatment, Research and Education in the Cancer at Tata Memorial Hospital Research Center, Navi Mumbai. So besides this, she has been faculty of biotechnology and biochemistry in Reno College of Bhopal, Indore. So I would like to invite Dr. Chandrakant Sharma, sir. Please share your valuable words to our audience.
Thank you, Dr. Salaya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think today the topic is very much relevant in the field of agricultural sciences. At the same time, it is very much relevant with the biological sciences also. Before starting the topic or the lecture by Dr. Pooja, I just now want to give some information about my esteemed university. The Parul University is providing the education in the different fields. If you see, it is our university is the recipient of different awards, and we have a kind of presence at the global level also. This is happening due to the dynamic leadership of our Honorable President, Sir, Dr. Devanshu Patel, sir. In the Faculty of Agriculture, we are having College of Agriculture, we are having College of Agriculture Engineering, we are having college in a holistic manner to the graduates who are going to be graduates in the field of agricultural sciences. We have more than 100 acres of land for the practicals in the field. We have very good developed labs for the development of the students. We have a kind of approach through which we give an education to the students for their holistic development. Regarding the mushroom, everyone is aware protein, amino acids are the building blocks for the life. And everyone wants to have a protein-based diet. In that case, mushroom play the significant role because it is having the different kind of the varieties, we can say, the different kind of species which we culture by the different ways. Dr. Pooja is one of the kind of person who is developing such kind of a venture at a scale where they can develop themselves as the entrepreneur. So though the students, those who are listening, those the audition, the audience which are listening this webinar, I think in due course of time they will realize, yes, they have learned a lot how they can develop this kind of ventures at their home, at their business units, we can say that. So I think with these words, I would like to welcome Dr. Pooja.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot for providing me this opportunity. And thanks a lot to Parul University. Thanks, Saleha ma'am. It is a really wonderful opportunity for me because mushrooms need a lot of promotion. And Parul University is is doing a great job in the field of agriculture. So mushrooms are going to get a very good platform through this university, I think so. So I would like to introduce myself. Although sir and ma'am have already talked a lot about me, but I would like to tell in very short about my company so that you can have an idea that what are the future aspects, what can be done, and don't underestimate the power of mushrooms, because just because of mushrooms you can do n number of things, so many of innovations. You should have a lot of ideas in your mind, so you can just do anything in this world and you can achieve anything just with the help of mushrooms as well. So my company's name is Beti Innovative Private Limited, although the full form of Beti is Biotech Era Transforming India, and it is a DPIIT certified startup because of the innovations we have done in the field of mushrooms. And the vision of our company is to upgrade tradition scientifically. As we all know that mushrooms are not very new. Mushrooms are very, very old thing. Even in our Vedas, Purans, in the old books also, so much is discussed about mushrooms, somas and all. And but we know that so much of science we have lost. We have been following so many things unknowingly. So that is what the current generation wants, to have a proper scientific touch of everything, whatever they want to do and they are doing. They should know the science behind that. So the vision of our company is to upgrade tradition scientifically, because mushrooms are a very old thing and they are to be brought at a platform at a scientific level. And secondly, the mission of our company is to eradicate malnutrition as well as pollution from our country, and that too, both the things we are able to do with the help of mushrooms. As currently sir said, and Saleha ma'am also said, the beneficial properties of mushrooms. So I would like to go further, that I have a mushroom spawn production laboratory. I started my work with this. The purpose of starting a mushroom spawn production laboratory was just to promote mushrooms anyway, because unless you don't have very good quality of seeds, you won't be able to grow mushrooms properly. So the first preference was to produce the best quality of spawn, as it has been told that I'm having experience and background of tissue culture, cell culture. So I had a confidence that I would be able to do it properly. So I started the lab, and it came up with a very good results. And later on, when I found that people are facing challenges in growing mushrooms, because it is a scientific kind of thing, the farming, that is a vertical farming, it needs a little space, although you need to know some basic concepts, basic scientific concepts related to it. People are doing so many mistakes. This webinar is also going to help you out some of the major problems, those people who are already growing mushrooms and those who want to come. I would like to tell you in the coming session that what kind of people challenges are faced by the people. They are calling me every day. So The second thing, I started with the training of mushroom just because of spreading the proper scientific knowledge of mushroom cultivation, because it is a part of agri biotechnology. So we are promoting agri biotechnology this way, and solving the malnutrition and pollution issue. And also we are promoting our farmers growth. That is the vision of and dream of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, to have double the farmers income. And also besides this, as I told, that mushrooms are very much helpful in controlling the pollution of our country as well as the whole world. This way it is going to be a very safe for the environment. Okay, so as the topic is today for today's seminar, today's webinar is related to the best practices. And if we grow mushroom, we are already doing best practices, because we are going to control the pollution and the malnutrition issues in our country. So this is about Beti, all about Beti. We are doing a lot of research work also. We are producing contaminant resistant spawn. We are doing some research work also at our institute. We are trying to develop different technologies, although we have released a few. This is our team. This is my husband, my daughter. They are, you know, that family, when family is fully involved in this kind of work, then nobody can stop mushroom growing in this country. So this is my team. These are my students. I am also providing research dissertation to students, those who are coming to our lab. Research based work, their dissertations they are doing in our lab. And this is the interview taken by because this slide I have added just to make you understand if you do something tirelessly and you are giving your full effort, then you can achieve anything in life. This is the training session I am providing. These are some of the products, because currently discussed that mushrooms are full of nutrition. So this was my dream to bring something which is present at every table, very easy to use. This is one of the kind of seasoning I have developed, Beti has developed. This contains mushroom powder as well as moringa leaves powder, and also the herbal spices which are present in our kitchen, and it contains almost all the ingredients which are recommended by Ministry of Ayush for COVID conditions, or to boost the immunity. This is mushroom powder. This is just to give you an idea, give you an scenario that what can all be done. And this is the project we did after, because when we are working with mushrooms and we are saying that I'm working to eradicate pollution and malnutrition. So when we were packaging our mushrooms, so we were facing the challenge, like mushrooms are generally packaged in the thermocol packagings. So I wanted to bring a thing which is completely biodegradable, safe for the environment. If we are saying our mushrooms are safe, mushrooms are good for the environment, then the packaging should also be that way. So whatever waste is produced by the farmer is being utilized for the cultivation of mushrooms, and the waste generated after the mushroom cultivation, we developed a technology to utilize all that waste to develop the packaging articles out of that. That is completely biodegradable, and you won't believe we got awards for this. 1 lakh cash prize we got from VNest, this startup India, and all this you say Smart City Bhopal. And our work was also supported by Government of India by providing us the grant to commercialize this technology. So this was all about us and the mushrooms. And now let us come to the benefits of eating of mushrooms, because this is the future food, and that is our today's topic. As we know that mushrooms are really delicious and they are nutritious. So when we talk about mushrooms, so people ask generally what benefits we are getting from the mushrooms. So we see here that mushrooms are very much helpful in controlling the cholesterol level. So people ask me, is it so? How does it help? Because when you are consuming mushrooms, you are eating lovastatin, you're consuming statin and lovastatin in your daily diet, and that is the medicine being prescribed by the doctors to control the cholesterol level in the body. So lovastatin is one of the very good medicine provided by the mushrooms. So mushrooms are not only of nutraceutical importance, they are also of medicinal importance. So when you consume mushrooms, you are going to control a lot of problems in which are currently very much prevalent in these days in our body. In every house we are facing the diabetes problem. We know that every second person is having diabetic issues. So it is having beta glucans. Okay, that is a polysaccharide which helps in controlling the diabetes. Okay, so there are so many value-added products also developed by us and many other companies also, just like biscuits. And there are so many research articles published. If you will explore the web, you will find out there are many research papers saying that yes, mushrooms are very much helpful in controlling diabetes through by consuming them in any way, and mainly if the mushroom is used in the form of powder. Then it is very much helpful because that is in the concentrated form, and whatever proteins and whatever nutrients we are talking about, they are they are in the more concentrated form. So beta glucans is there, which is helping controlling diabetes. Also, we say that mushrooms are helpful in preventing cancer. We cannot say that it is a treatment. It is only being used for prevention, so that you may not have these kind of diseases. You may not face these kind of diseases. Although you should have a good healthy habits also. Although still it helps in preventing cancer because it is containing selenium, and some of the varieties are also having vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 and vitamin D, these are the two very important vitamins which are today lacking in most of the Indian diet, and they are having a deficiency and facing so many problems. And when we come to vitamin D, we know that when we talk about vitamin D not only comes with a single thing. There are so many things, so many processes controlled by vitamin D in our body. Mainly it helps in maintaining the immunity. That is why these days government is also promoting to eat mushrooms, so that you can have vitamin D. I will let you know later that how you can have vitamin D from mushroom, but I'm just telling you all the benefits of eating mushrooms. And when we talk about vitamin D, it is a very big topic in itself. There could be a separate webinar on this. Such a big topic it is, vitamin D. So immunity boosting is one of the major helpful part being done by vitamin D, and we all know that vitamin D is very useful for the bone health and teeth. You all know that whenever somebody is having deficiency of vitamin D, doctors write them the give them a sachets or capsules to consume on a weekly basis, that is containing vitamin D3. So D3 is always animal source. Remember, when mushrooms we are consuming, that is a vegetarian source of your diet. Mushrooms are not containing vitamin D3, they are containing vitamin D2. Okay, whenever we say D2, then it is always something non-animal product. So those people, those who are vegan and they want to have medicines also not outsourced from animal diet, so they should consume mushrooms if they don't want to lack in vitamin D in their diet. If you are consuming mushrooms daily, so you will never be deficient in vitamin D, because it is providing you the vegetarian vitamin D, and never going to you are not going to have deficiency of vitamin D. But if you are already deficient, then definitely you need a high dose that is specifically you are going to have from vitamin D3 just to boost that deficiency you have got. But this is just a precaution that you are not going to have the deficiency. You would have seen an ad. There was an ad of Horlicks or some other brand, I'm not remembering exactly. The mother was asking to the another mother that आज आपने दूध दिया, पर दूध में जो कैल्शियम है वो बच्चे को आपके मिलेगा कैसे? तो वो कैल्शियम मिलेगा कैसे? The mother used to say, हम लेकर आए हैं विटामिन D 45 formula. It means when you are consuming calcium you are having calcium in your diet, but you are not consuming vitamin D, that means you are not going to absorb the calcium of whatever you have taken in your diet unless vitamin D is not there. So vitamin D has so many important roles in your diet that if you are having vitamin D, the calcium which you are trying to get in your diet, daily diet, that also will be absorbed only if you are having vitamin D in your diet. The next thing is potassium. We used to eat so many things to have potassium, but we know that potassium helps in reducing and controlling blood pressure. Whenever a person is having deficiency or having some blood BP issues, so doctor always said reduce your sodium intake. Okay, so already mushrooms are having less sodium and high potassium in the diet. So when you are eating mushrooms, you are going to have a high potassium diet so that your blood pressure may also be adjusted. And it also contains vitamin B's, and also this is the reason it helps in the absorption of iron. Okay, when we say there are so many things, like when we say that you are eating spinach, we say that you should add some lemon to it, because whenever you are consuming iron, it is never in the simple form, it is in the complex form. So it has to be in the anything whatever you are eating in the diet, that has to be in the simplified form, in the unit form, then only it will be absorbed by your body. And also mushrooms contain very high fiber, specifically the oyster variety. It is containing a lot of fibers in it. And oyster variety, there are some colored varieties also. I will let you know in the lecture after this slide, that there are so many varieties in mushrooms. So this is a very low fat, high fiber diet, and that is why it is known as the delight of diabetics, because whatever you want, the diabetic person want in the diet, that is present in mushrooms, and what they don't want, that is not present in the mushrooms. Mushrooms are fat free, starch free, cholesterol free. Okay, so this way they are going to be a super food and immunity boosting food for all of us. Okay, this is also the summarized form of whatever I have discussed. Now I would like to tell you all that how easy it is to cultivate mushroom, and why India needs to cultivate mushroom. As higher productivity in mushrooms is only because we are able to do vertical farming. And if we see towards, so many crops are there, like wheat, rice, fruits, and many other vegetables. So what is the production ratio? So you see that wheat can be produced at 3 hectare per hectare, okay, in tons. Similarly, rice 4.5, fruits 14.5, vegetables 17. But still you see that mushrooms, because it is a vertical farming, you don't need a lot of space. That means in a very small space you can have a lot of protein. Mushrooms are rich in protein, rich source of protein. Although the fresh mushrooms which you are consuming, they have lesser quantity of protein as compared to the dried form, because when you are consuming anything in the dried form, it is in the concentrated form, and when you are having its powder form, after drying you are converting into powder form, and that is a long-term storage thing. Because most of the tribal peoples earlier, we have seen, they used to go to the forest, wild jungles during the rainy seasons, and they used to harvest a lot of mushrooms from the trees and forest from everywhere, and they used to dehydrate it and preserve it for round the year, because they knew that this is the thing which is going to protect them round the year. So this is the best way to produce mushroom and then preserve it in your house. It's very simple and very easy. That means you can produce 400, you can see the numbers, how much difference is there per hectare in tons, can be produced in the small space. If you are growing oyster mushrooms, then only a small space, a small room is required to cultivate, and that too from the agri waste. So what is our strength? Why India should grow mushrooms? Because India has varied agroclimatic conditions. We have a huge agriculture waste. Huge agriculture waste means we are approximately producing 700 metric tons of crop residue every year, and that is, most of that is unmanaged, mismanaged, either being burned or thrown away, whatever. But we are not utilizing it in a proper way, and we have seen that in Delhi Delhi, people are facing so much of problem during these days of pollution. Fog issues are there. Government is banning the burning of all these agri waste, crop residues. So mushroom is the best way to utilize and manage that all the agriculture waste which is being mismanaged. And you know that India has a cheap labor as we compare to China. They are having a lot of technology, but everybody knows in this world that India is rich in the labor. We do everything manually. We have a very strong we have this strength that we are having a cheap labor, so we can do anything at a very large scale here. And wide biodiversity is there. If you explore in the rainy season, you are going to see that so many varieties of mushrooms are there in India. That has to be explored and to be brought up in the market and at the commercial scale. So it is a very huge market. This is India's strength. If we understand the value of these mushrooms, this is nothing new. This is very old, and even our rishis and Vedas have discussed a lot about it. It was known as the food of God. So let us consider it, and it is the highest. It is going to be the highest protein producer of this world. We know that soybean is providing a lot of protein. We know that it is a very good source of protein, pulses and wheat. But when we had seen in the previous slide that when mushrooms are cultivated, they can be cultivated in a vertical space with very limited water, with very limited resources. That means you can produce this protein. Although soybean is having higher protein concentration, but still, if mushrooms are cultivated at a large scale in a very limited space and vertical space, and also less investment is there, less water is there, and you're going to utilize all the agriculture waste, it means it is going to be the highest producer, and it is having a very short lifespan. The life cycle of growing mushrooms is also very short. You must say that some varieties within 15 to 20 days you are going to have the fruiting in your hand. So have you seen any other plant or any other crop which can provide you so fast fruiting? So this is going to be the protein producer of the world. So I have discussed that currently that how much agriculture waste we are having in this in our country, and what mushrooms we are growing. Most of the people know only one variety, that is button mushroom. That is approximately 73% being produced, and tropical and subtropical places it only 27%. So world production is 37.3 million ton. So crop residues is 700 metric ton. So if we see that if we go for further production of the mushrooms, then it is going to solve all the major issues of malnutrition and pollution just by growing mushrooms. So government has that. This is the reason that government has incorporated mushrooms in during this COVID conditions. Government released this poster that what are the immunity boosting foods. Okay, so the first name was mushroom. The first priority was mushrooms, and even these days government has added mushrooms to the midday meal. The central government has added mushrooms in the midday meal just because government and others have also started understanding the importance of mushroom. They also want to people to understand the importance. So this slide I have added just to make you understand that most of the people call me and they say we know only one or two varieties, and that too which is being used in the culinary in the kitchen to prepare the curries and all. Then every time I have to describe them that no, there are so many varieties of mushrooms. Although all the varieties are not edible, but you should know that like just like plants, all the plants are not edible. Some have medicinal importance. We say now always that every plant has some value. Every plant is going to be useful in any way, either in research or in the form of medicine. So the same thing is applied to mushrooms as well. They are also very having very wide range. So these days nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals and medicinal importance mushrooms are gaining. We are very much lacking behind in mushrooms. The whole world is running after mushrooms. China is the leading producer and exporter, but but this is the best time to come in this field to have grasp this quickly, because people have now lost the faith in China. So we could be a very good exporter. We could cover the market. So this is going to be a future food, definitely, because export market has so much scope in this field. So as you can see towards the top left, there is one variety which is very commonly seen in our Indian jungles, forests, and even in the normal gardens also, which are some old gardens. I have seen there also that this is a variety known as Rishi in Hindi, or in China we say Rishi, but this is scientific name is Ganoderma lucidium. So this variety is playing a very important role in medicines, mainly in cancer and HIV, hepatitis, these kind of diseases. And besides this, people don't know that this is mushroom. Some of the companies are there which have launched the products of this mushroom and people are using, but they know the name Ganoderma, but they don't know that this is the variety. This variety is mushroom actually. Okay, and you can see here the red one, this dotted one. I think you can see the cursor. Yes, this is the red one which you have seen in the drawings, in the cartoons, in most of the places. Okay, so this is the mushroom, but this is a mushroom which is generally being used in drawings and many other places, but this is poisonous mushrooms. This is one of the poisonous mushrooms. So we should not lose faith over mushrooms just by knowing that some mushrooms are poisonous, because some plants are also poisonous, some fruits are also poisonous. So you should be only aware. You should be educated properly in the field of mushroom, which is healthy, which is not healthy. And if you don't have knowledge, you don't have confidence, then just go for the mushrooms which are available in the market with the FSSAI tag, the green mark, packed mushrooms. Then it is completely safe, and the one which is being grown by the farmers and the entrepreneurs, that is safe. Okay, so you don't need to explore, consume the mushrooms which are growing in the rainy season. You would have seen in the fields and the forest and in some of the trees. Don't consume that, because that is not going to be safe. That could be harmful for you, because we don't know how to identify those varieties. Okay, but if you are getting mushroom in the market, then it is safe, because we know all the vegetables which we are procuring from the market, that is safe. Only the one which we see in some new places, in some forest, that we are not aware, we don't consume it. The same way mushrooms are also there, but this looks pretty good. And as I told, that every mushroom has some application. So nowadays biopesticides are being made out of these varieties. So you can see this top right one. This is very expensive variety. This is Cordyceps militaris. This can be grown in the laboratory. Although there is one more variety, sinensis, Cordyceps sinensis, that is generally collected from the top of extreme top of hills, like Mount Everest, and these are grown at a very top part of the mountain. So it is really difficult to collect these varieties, and these are very, very expensive varieties, and this is generally known as Yarsa Gumba. Okay, and the below this variety there is one more very important variety, which we had seen some news about our respected Narendra Modi ji's, that he loves eating mushroom. So this is that variety which was talked about. This is morel mushroom. Although in China is committing that they are able to produce this variety commercially, but in India it's still under progress. Research is going on, because unless spawn, I will talk to you about spawn later on also. Spawn is the seed of mushroom. Unless spawn is not made, it is really difficult to cultivate any mushroom at a commercial scale. So some trials are also going on in India as well, but still China commits that they have developed that technology. So there are so many varieties. I will not talk about everything, but towards the lower left, you can see that Hericium ericeus. This variety earlier it was not being cultivated in India, but this is an edible variety. There are more than 50,000 varieties in the world, and they are keeping people are exploring. Mushroom hunters are there, so they are adding every day a new variety. But we have to detect whether which variety is edible and which is not edible, but still for can be used for some other application. But this variety, Hericium erinaceus, this you can see the image that it doesn't look at all like mushroom. Generally we see that what we think when we think about mushroom, we always have a umbrella type of image in our mind, that there should be some umbrella and a stick is there, then it is mushroom. But it's not like that. This is the reason I have shown you this slide, that this is the variety that is Hericium erinaceus, and it is an edible variety, and it is being used for neurological treatments in India, and that is also edible. Not only medicinal importance this mushroom is having, this is the variety which is having medicinal as well as nutritional importance. So people love eating this mushrooms, and it is now being commercially cultivated also. The technology has been developed in India. This is Hericium erinaceus, and it is also commonly known as lion's mane. As you can see the shape, it is looking like the beard. So people call it monkey's mane, sher ki dadi, bandar ki dadi, this way they are calling. And one more important variety we will miss out, that this is shiitake mushroom. This is also very, very healthy. It is also having nutritional as well as medicinal importance, and it is containing almost everything whatever is required by our body. Even it is having a high content of vitamin B12 along with vitamin D. Vitamin D can be made in all the varieties of mushrooms by exposing them with the gill part. So let us see what are the varieties which are what are their contributions, which variety is being cultivated more in world at the world level, we can say. So we see in this chart that Agaricus button mushroom, which is generally seen and known by all of us, that is present in the malls and in the general vegetable markets, that is button mushroom, but its scientific name is Agaricus bisporus, Bitotis. There are different types of species. So this is covering about 38% of the world market, and production also is definitely more because of the demand. And then Lentinula, that is just now I showed you the shiitake mushroom. This is contains 10% production. This is a contribution of different species. So you can see another one, oyster mushroom. This variety is oyster mushroom. It is contributing 24% to the market. And this is auricularia, this is flammulina and volverula, and other species are also there like milky mushroom. But let us come to know which are more prevalent in India. Okay. So in this slide you can see from the bottom we see what before cultivating mushroom, what we have to decide, how we have to decide which mushroom you should grow, because there are so many varieties. You must be thinking that I'm telling you there are so many varieties, so many edible varieties are also there. Okay, so approximately 10 to 12 varieties are there which are edible and being commercially cultivated. So out of those, the most common are these four. And how to decide that which mushroom we should grow and at the place where we stay. Okay, so the two most important factors are that first you should know that what are the climatic conditions of your area where you are staying. Okay, because it is very important. Because we want to utilize and take the benefit of the nature. And the second thing is, what is the major crop residue or agriculture waste being produced at your place in your state. Okay, if I talk about my place, I'm in Indore. I'm from Indore. So here soybean waste, soybean is the major crop being cultivated. Wheat is the major crop cultivated. So these crops, when cultivated, definitely a lot of agri waste crop residue from these kind of crops are going to be generated. So this is the factor which I have to see that because as an entrepreneur, as when you are starting something, you should always look for the cost. so of your production. So this is the waste. If you decide some such variety which can only be cultivated on paddy straw, and I am residing in Indore, and no rice cultivation is here, so I cannot grow those varieties. Although if I can grow, that is nothing, there is nothing like this that I cannot grow, but for the trial or test basis I can grow. But if I want to commercialize that thing, I want to go for commercial cultivation, then it's not feasible, it's not viable, because cost of production will be increased, because transportation cost will be added if I want to have paddy in my area. So from this chart you can see the below variety. This is paddy straw mushroom. This is the common name of this mushroom, and the Hindi name we call it pual or parali, and the scientific name is Volvella volvaceae. So this is very important to know that this mushroom, its name is it's named only on paddy straw's name, because it is cultivated on such kind of agri waste. Okay, and Hindi we call the waste of rice as pual or parali, or paddy straw in English. So this is a variety which is generally grown in the area of West Bengal, Odisha, because this is a variety which needs higher temperature. Okay, so that is the second factor which I told you, that climatic conditions. What climatic conditions? I'm getting tropical climatic conditions, subtropical climatic conditions. Then you go for oyster mushroom, but you can go for planning, like you can make a chart of a whole year. You should utilize the benefit of the nature that they have provided you different seasons. So you plan accordingly if you want to grow paddy. But in Indore I cannot commercialize paddy straw, because I cannot get paddy straw here, paddy waste here. Okay, so the other option for me is milky mushroom. This is also summer variety. Okay, milky mushroom, in Hindi we call it dudhia, and the scientific name is Psilocybe indica. So these varieties also summer strain. Both the lower two varieties are summer strains. That is, it requires temperature around 30 to 35 for cropping. Cropping temperature is this. For fruiting. Okay, so the other variety which you see is button mushroom. This is a winter variety. Okay, winter variety button mushroom, which we all know, but you must be thinking that button mushroom is present everywhere. People are growing in other seasons also, not only in winters. That means they are having some control system. Either you have to put some AC. Okay, this is somewhat you must say you need to invest. Okay, rest of the varieties can be done on lower investment, but in case of button, this is commonly known as button mushroom, and the Hindi name is kumbi, and the scientific name is, generally the most common variety is Agaricus bisporus. Although there are other strains as well, but let's not go for that. So button mushroom is a winter variety, but if you want to grow in other seasons, you should have a control unit. And some of the farmers, those who cannot invest for control unit, they have to invest for AC at least. And one more thing, the most important thing, because people are not aware about all these varieties and all these things. I'm getting a lot of calls every day. They always ask me, I want to grow mushroom, and they would have seen some YouTube videos. They ask that, I have seen that it can be grown in a small space, in a small room. Definitely, and that too very less investment, it can be done. That variety they are talking about, that is oyster mushroom, the top one, that it is known as dhingri in Hindi, and the other one is button mushroom. They have seen in the market, so they are confused, like which variety should I go for, because ultimately the major concern is market. What is the they are asking, what is the demand in market? If I grow the mushrooms, will I be able to sell it? So the thing is that we have to be very much clear regarding all these things before growing mushrooms. When you are planning for button mushroom, you should be very well aware that it requires 14 to 18 degree temperature for growing, for fruiting. So you should have, if you are interested in growing the button mushroom round the year, then you should have facility of AC. Although if you are not growing in the control system, then then you are going to face many other challenges related to less production, contamination issues, and other things are also there. But still, you can grow it. If you are not able to invest a lot, you can grow it in other seasons also. But you have to procure AC. AC requirement is always there, because during winters, what people do, they plan this way, that they plan from September for button mushrooms. In Delhi and Haryana and Punjab side, they get winters very earlier, so they plan accordingly, because this is the variety in which you have to prepare compost. Compost, we all know that you are from agriculture background, but this people ask me this also, that we are already having compost, but that compost is for agriculture, other crops, one that you cannot use for mushroom cultivation. Mushroom cultivation is completely a separate or complete different technology. So here you have to prepare compost in the way it has already been standardized. There are different techniques of preparing compost. That compost, either it takes 28 days in preparation, either 15 days or lesser. It has to be prepared earlier. So what they do, they start preparing compost in September, and by the October they're going to have this spawning stage. Spawning, I will let you know what is spawning. That is adding of the seeds spawn in the compost. So that process is known as spawning. So they will keep the bag inoculated or added with the spawn, and they will provide the required temperature and climatic conditions. After that, by the month of within a month, they will be having a crop starting pinning stage by the month of November. So this way they can have 2 to 3 crops if they plan from August, September. So this is the way. And now people are calling that I want to go for button mushroom cultivation, but they don't know that they have to start all these things very earlier. But still, if you want to go for button mushroom, you have to plan for AC as well. And this is the oyster variety. This is the I must say variety which YouTube has been loaded with. People are talking a lot about oyster mushrooms. This is the variety which can be grown with very less investment in a very small space. Only you need agriculture waste to grow it. Any kind of agriculture waste you can use. There are also so many research papers related to this also, which substrate is best. There is always somewhat ups and downs according to the type of substrate being utilized for cultivation. But oyster mushroom is the thing which is going to be cultivated with very less investment, and in any place you can grow, because in oyster also there are so many varieties which can be grown in different seasons. Okay, so these are the burning issues. I will not go. These are the requirements for growing mushrooms. So like you need to know the temperature and climatic conditions. So you need a hygrometer to know that how much temperature is there in your room, how much humidity is there in your room. These all are the requirements. I'm showing you on this screen in a very short way that this is the agriculture waste on which this is the packet of spawn which we are preparing in our lab. I can show you also here. This is the packet of spawn. This is being prepared by us in our laboratory. It should be free of any contamination or any infection. So we always check for it. This is added to the agriculture waste, but always remember that agriculture waste has to be treated. It should always be free of any contaminants, and there are different methods we teach in our trainings also. There are some organic methods. We cannot always rely on chemicals. There are some organic methods also from which we can sterilize these straw. Okay, these straw can be sterilized, and once it is free of any other contaminants, because our aim is to grow this variety. Okay, so our aim is to grow this variety. So we should know that this is also a microorganism, and the straw, the substrate which we are going to utilize for cultivation, that is the food of this mushroom. So it should also be free of any other contaminants, because all the microbes which are present in the nature, they are always ready to compete with that, because you are going to add some water moisture to this, because without moisture, without nutrition, no life symptoms are there. Okay. So this way, this has to be added in the straw, which is already sterilized, already treated, and then after this, we are having an incubation period. You can see in the slide. you can see in the slide here that this bag is getting white. This is the straw on which this mycelium, that fungus of the mushroom, starts spreading. And always take care that when it is spreading, it should be free of any other contaminants. It should be placed in a place which is hygienic, and the handling should always be hygienic. Although corona has taught us a lot, earlier we were facing a lot of problems when bag preparation is being done. When this bag is prepared, we used to teach people, please wear mask, you can wear the cap, so that any other waste of your body or anything cannot be added to this, because this is sterilized, it is completely free of any other contaminant. So you should not handle it with your dirty hands. So your hand should either be washed with the soap, or it should be either these days sanitizers are also there. You can sterilize your hands also with these sanitizer, and just then only prepare the bag. And that bag has to be maintained in a place, a dark room, no air, no light should be there. This is the incubation phase, we can say. In case of oyster and other different varieties, the duration is also different, but temperature is generally 25 to 28 degree. It gets varied according to the variety, but 25 is the most favorable temperature for in this incubation phase of this mycelium run, we say. That when this white part is known as mycelium, which is spreading, which is eating this substrate and spreading over it. And later on, for cropping, you have to revert back two conditions like light and air. If you will provide, then you will get these beautiful fruitings. I'm having some fruitings also, although I've not brought the bag. This is the oyster mushroom fruiting, you can see. Yes, I'm having a bag also here. You can see here this kind of fruitings you can have in your bags. Okay, this is the substrate on which oyster, that agriculture waste on which oyster mushrooms are grown. It is very simple and very easy to grow this. I have removed the polythene PP bag, and this also fruiting, you can see. This is so beautiful. I can show you the button mushroom also. This season we have grown it, although it's heavy. There's this bag. This is button mushroom. The process for every mushroom is somewhat different, although the concepts are same. But button mushroom needs what more technology is required for this. Keep this. Okay, so I will tell you one more thing here only, that what mistakes people are doing generally while handling this. Hygiene, I have already told you that hygiene is the first most important thing you should consider about always, because whatever hard work you have done sterilizing all the straw and all those things, people get very much overconfident when they get a fruiting initially, but getting once or twice a fruiting is okay. But once you are going for a commercial cultivation, you are always going to face competition from other microorganisms which are always present in the air, because you are not working in a very much control unit on a control system. So the air and whatever possibility is there, you should always avoid entry of more people in your room. So this is one of the most important best practices part I'm talking about. And while harvesting button mushrooms and oyster mushrooms, you just have to take the bag this way. People make a mistake here, that while we have to twist it from the base, okay, and this clockwise or anti-clockwise, and we have to take this bunch out. This bunch is containing the substrate. This we call it bhusa in Hindi, straw. Okay, so it has this base part, stalk part has to be removed. Okay, otherwise, and if some this is the beautiful mushrooms. You can see the oyster mushroom. This here base part has been removed. Here it has not been removed. Okay, and these individual flowering has to be separated. You can see this. This is also very clean. It should always be clean. No straw should be there. Okay. Okay, and if you see while harvesting now, if sometimes it happens that some protein, this base part is left over there, then you should not leave it there. This is the major problem people are facing, that after some days they will ask, my bag is getting black from the place where I had harvested the mushroom. So this is one of the most important factor to always remember when you are harvesting your fruiting. At that time, if you are leaving the base part in the bag and it is not cleaned by you, that is a protein part, very much rich in protein, and bacteria and other microorganisms are always ready to attack over it. So always remember, if your bag starts getting black or green in color here, that means you have some leftovers of the harvesting. Okay, so this is a very important part. Okay, I will tell you something about storage also. When you have, I'm also talking about button mushrooms. When you are harvesting the button mushrooms, you see that there is some dust part. Is there? Can anybody tell me just once that if everything is visible properly to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Salim. So here, when it is harvested, na, at the base there is lot of casing soil is remaining there. Okay, so that time, the time when you are harvesting, there are some specific tools for mushrooms harvesting. So there is a tool, like there is one at the one end there is a knife and other end there is a brush. Okay, so you, while harvesting, when you have harvested, just keep it in the hand this way. Okay, and just cut the lower part with the knife, and with the brush hold it this way. Don't let the casing soil get spreaded over this top part of mushroom. With the brush, if sometimes it happens like in your hand it is there, you should either clean it with the cloth, and if by mistake it happens, so you should always have that brush, just brush it once and keep it. Okay, once it is capped, always remember it has to be stored properly, because mushrooms are rich in protein, so it is having very less shelf life. Although according to the variety, shelf life gets varied, like milky mushroom is having the highest shelf life. It can be capped for 2 to 3 days at room temperature, but whenever you are interested in increasing the shelf life, try to keep the mushrooms in the refrigeration conditions, and once it is stored in the refrigeration, you see this was kept in the refrigerator. Okay, this is button mushroom, and there are water droplets, because just to show you all, it was kept outside. After keeping for some time outside, we will
Just a
get
minute,
water
ma'am.
droplets. Yes.
How much time required to finish?
Ma'am, this is a very big topic. No issue. We can end here also. We can have some other sessions in future also. No issues.
We have some other session, ma'am,
No
so
issues.
that's why.
Because session was started late, na, I had planned accordingly.
Yes, ma'am, yes.
According to 1 hour, I had planned, but no issues. So I would like to show you one or two things, that this is the culture which we are preparing in our lab by tissue culture of these fruit bodies. This is the way we are preparing, and further it is propagated in the petri dishes. It is multiplied, and after that, when it is multiplied, we make this mother spawn out of this. These are the stages of spawn preparation I am showing you, just to have an idea that this is completely agri biotechnology. Okay, and this is the final spawn product, final spawn which we are making in our laboratory. This is the final commercial spawn, and there are some products we have launched. This is dry mushroom of Betty. This is sun exposed. When sun exposed, mushrooms are sun exposed, it is having vitamin D, although it is not having vitamin D if it is not sun exposed. And this is this mushroom powder which we are providing. And this all I'm telling you that because so that you can have an idea what validation can be done in this field. This is that product which I was talking to you about. This is the that seasoning, that mushroom and moringa seasoning. Its taste is just like Maggi masala. Okay, because mushrooms contains natural MSG, and these are the products developed by us. This is all from waste of mushrooms. For this project we have got the grant and awards. So thank you very much. That's all. For giving me this great opportunity. I think you all would have seen the website details also. If you want to visit our website, you can visit that also. Our contact details are also there. You can see on the screen the platform is our website. So if you want to have more idea related to it, you can visit
Thank you.
that's
Thank you so much, ma'am, for very informative webinar. Thank you so much. It is a matter of pride for me, and I am proposing a vote of thanks for this informative webinar. I am Dr. Saleha. On behalf of my college and entire community, first of all, spread my most sincere thanks to the God. I would like to thank to this today's speaker, Dr. Pooja Dubey Pandey, who gave her valuable time for her busy schedule to grace this webinar. Now I would like to thank chairman of today's webinar, our dean and principal sir, for his enthusiastic support. A special thanks to the teaching and non-teaching staff for their support and coordination. Lastly but not least, special and heartily thanks to our students for active participation. With this warm regards, kindly we move to end of the today's seminar. Thank you all of you once again. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for providing this opportunity to have an interaction with you all and all your students. It was a very great experience for me.
Thank you very much for sparing the time for us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good luck. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, thank you.